Hello everyone, my name is Mathew McKenna and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the new music video by 5 Seconds of Summer. This is actually going to be the second video in a row where I'm reacting to a new song. I'm in entirely new territory right now. So I'm quite familiar with 5 Seconds of Summer and their sound, which is why I haven't really done a never listened to 5 Seconds of Summer video, because I just already know them. So it's pretty cool to be listening to a new song, a new music video in fact, as it's released. I want to mention something really quickly that I posted on Twitter. So after a couple of people asked me, and especially after hitting my recent milestone, I've opened up a Patreon account. We've actually already got a few patrons, which is really cool. Thank you to those who have pledged. But if you're interested, there'll be a card up in the top corner. There's all kinds of different perks, including I decided to add to one of the tiers that I'll message out 3 of my old, really cringy, really embarrassing videos per month. These are videos that literally I avoid watching. I don't even want to know what it's going to be like for you. Absolutely no pressure, of course, but it's there if you want to. On that note, before we start, if you are new here, make sure you head down below, click subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And let's move right on to listening to a 5 Seconds of Summer song. Ooh, it actually started softer than I expected. I was kind of expecting them to come out bursting. This is a little bit poppier than their previous stuff. They've always tried to stick to like sort of a pop punk feel. Maybe they're just experimenting. I don't mind it. They've really surprised me. This is not what I expected at all to come from them. In the way that I used. This videography is kind of weird. There's a lot of interesting visuals. And 5 Seconds of Summer's music videos have always been kind of like, I guess, more story based. So it's kind of nice to just see them do something that's just playing around with visuals and being engaging in that method. Normally I'm not too big a fan of like high notes seemingly for the sake of high notes, but the tune here as well just kind of works and calls for the high notes, so maybe that's what's going on. I don't know, the sound of that sounds really good to me. No matter where I go, I'm always gonna want you back. So this seems like a breakup song, obviously, want you back. Essentially like, no matter what I do, no matter how I think, I'm gonna want you back. That was interesting. I didn't mind it. I'm not 100% sure whether I liked it, but I think I'll just chalk that up to like how different it is from the other stuff, or at least the stuff that I've listened to, and I've listened to a fair amount of stuff by them. I'm really curious, and I'm gonna ask this question now. If you're a 5 Seconds of Summer fan, how do you feel about that? Do you think that they've changed, or am I just crazy? Is it the same sound as always? And if you think that song was different, what'd you think? Did you enjoy that? Do you prefer that sort of style? Because while it's different and while it took me by surprise, I actually think it worked for them and it worked for their sound. And if they're looking to be a bit more poppy, maybe that sort of infectious feel, then I mean that worked for them. That's gonna be in my head, I can tell you that much. I feel like a lot of famous musicians write similar lyrics to this. I know I've heard Ed Sheeran write stuff like this. I'm pretty sure there was another singer, maybe it was Louis. But if you think about it, a band's like 5 Seconds of Summer, they'll be touring like 2/3 of the year, and the other third they're caught up in so many different things, whether it's publicity, writing, recording. There's literally always something going on for them, and I imagine that would make relationships and even friendships kind of hard, kind of taxing. So I don't know if it's quite exactly the message they were trying to convey, but the message that I got from those lyrics is this idea that they're going to be traveling all around the world, they're going to be going to all these different places, doing all these different things, but ultimately it still comes down to, even though maybe we broke up, but because of that distance, I'm still going to want you back. And I think it always comes back to that message of like, there are pitfalls to fame and pitfalls to success. So it's always interesting to me to hear artists open up about that. I think mostly because it lets us see a different side of them that we probably didn't think about, or that we might not see otherwise. And I feel like that's cool, because when you think about it, that's kind of what music is all about, isn't it? Telling stories, sharing your emotions, and giving people a window to you. All of those last few sentences were just so cliche, but I'm gonna stick by them. So with all of that said, I am so keen to hear your thoughts. Did you get a different message from that? And ultimately, did you enjoy it? That's what I really want to know. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to click that like button. And as always, have an awesome time until I see you next. See ya.